you can influence it. After this lesson, I want you to be aware that you can affect how your blood sugar levels are by using food, movement, and lifestyle habits. So first and foremost, what is blood sugar? What am I talking about? Blood sugar is the amount of sugar. So sugar is the main energy currency of the body. So it's about the amount of sugar that is circulating in your bloodstream and the effect that that can have on you and how your body deals with it. So symptoms that will kind of show us that our blood sugar levels aren't where they should be. So if you crave sweets or coffee or sugar in the afternoon, if you have an excessive appetite, if you get shaky, if a meal's delayed, you kind of get, oh, I'm getting the jitters. If you're awake a few hours after falling asleep and then find it difficult to fall back asleep. This is generally around 3 a.m. where you would find that you kind of wake up and you're lying there and you think, oh, I just need to go to the toilet. But really and truly, was it your blood sugars crashing, or was it that you needed to go to the toilet? If you find yourself binging or have uncontrolled eating, if you find yourself sleepy in the afternoon, these are all signs and symptoms to say, oh, your blood sugar is not that happy. If your fatigue is relieved by eating, if you get headaches if you skip a meal or if a meal is delayed, and if you're irritable before meals, these are all signs that your blood sugar levels might not be on point. So what is blood sugar levels all about? So it's about your energy levels. So if you keep your blood sugar levels even, your energy levels will stay even. If you've got spikes in your blood sugar, this is going to lead to energy crashes because your blood sugar levels is going to crash. And then you're going to need to get that blood sugar back up again. And then what happens is it can go too high because you've eaten something too sugary, and it's going to go back down. And this is the cycle of having high and low blood sugar. Okay, and alcohol also plays in here as well. So insulin, which we're going to talk about later on, but it's the hormone that's secreted by your pancreas. It's an organ of the body, and it's insulin's function with your blood sugar to take excess energy out of your bloodstream. So to take that excess sugar out of your bloodstream. Then it needs to give it somewhere to go, which we will talk about, but essentially it can end up being stored as fat because it doesn't really have anywhere else to go. So for you, how are you going to feel? Like, what's the impact in your life if you work to balance your blood sugar levels? You're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy and you're going to avoid those crashes. Okay? Your immune system's going to function better. Your immune system becomes compromised when we've got too much sugar in our bloodstream. So you're going to have less coughs, less colds, less infections. Your mood is going to improve. There's a major link between imbalanced blood sugar levels and anxiety. The problem is we only see it with hindsight. So if you've given up or reduced your sugar levels and then kind of a month later, like, wow, I don't feel as anxious. There's a big correlation between mood and anxiety and sugar. Weight loss, because you're reducing the amount of calories that you're going to be consuming, so calorie deficit, and then decrease in inflammation. Sugar creates AGEs, advanced glycation end products. Okay, so it's how sugar can damage protein molecules and fat molecules. And if molecules become damaged, that causes inflammation in the body. The immune system's activated and inflammation occurs. Problem is that inflammation does lead to all chronic diseases. So the more on top and more in control you are of inflammation, the less chance you have of developing different diseases. Essentially, if you look to improve your blood sugar level control, you're going to feel tip-top. You're going to feel way better than you would if you were still maintaining a high level of sugar intake. So here is your insulin and different carbohydrates. So let's say your red line is easily absorbed, sugary, refined carbohydrates. And blue are more complex, they're more in their natural state, like oats or rice. So what you're trying to do here is, I'm not going to tar carbohydrates as bad. I don't think they're bad. I think how we eat them, how we process them is the problem. So with the red line, you're getting highs and lows, and that's going to be your energy level. So your blood sugar levels are going to go high and low, and your energy levels are going to go high and low. If you maintain balanced blood sugars, you're going to get more of that blue line, little fluctuation, but not highs and lows. So how can you test to see if your blood sugar level, how it's behaved over the last couple of months? So the test is an A1C, and this gives an indication of how your average blood sugar levels were for the past month or two. What the test measures is what percentage of your hemoglobin, which is a protein molecule that carries around oxygen on your red blood cells, what percentage of that hemoglobin is coated with sugar, so glycated. So we talked about AGEs. So how much of that hemoglobin is covered in sugar, essentially? The problem is when it's covered in sugar, the molecule doesn't function as well as it should. So the higher your result, the poorer your blood sugar control, and the higher your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. There's a difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Type 1 is an autoimmune. Okay, the body turns on itself. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not in your control, unfortunately. But type 2, it used to be called adult onset diabetes. But now they've changed it to type 2 because it's happening in younger children. And then there's actually type 3, which they're linking to Alzheimer's. Anyway, just to be aware, there is a difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So sugar is glucose, okay? And the goal is to control the rate that sugar breaks down when it enters your digestive system. The slower it breaks down, the less effect there is on your blood sugar and your energy levels. So how can you impact your blood sugar levels? By the food you eat, consume, intake, and movement. So we're going to talk about high GI and low GI. So these are how you can classify different sugars. So the glycemic index is a measure of how quickly a food causes your blood sugar levels to rise. So what they did was they took 100 grams of sugar and they saw how quickly it affected your blood sugar levels. So let's say table sugar gets 100 or it gets 70. It doesn't really matter, but they put it against this. So if you've got a high GI food, it's 70 and above. If you've got a low GI food, it's 55 or lower. So anything 55 and lower is not going to increase your blood sugar levels as high. It's not going to spike it. But a high GI food is going to spike your blood sugar level and it's going to fall rapidly. Low GI is going to increase it slowly and then it's gradually going to fall. So ideally you're looking for low GI foods so you don't have those highs and lows. Again, you can see the red line, that's the high, and the green line, it's fairly even, okay? So what's the difference between high and low GI foods? So look at this picture. I'm asking you, what do you see is the major difference? For me, on the left side, a man messed with that. A female messed with it. A human altered that food. They took it, they broke it down, and they made it easier for our body to digest that sugar. Where if you take the ingredients on the right side, these guys still have their husks on, they still have their vitamins, they still have their minerals, they still have their fiber. Your body's going to get way more bang for its buck than it would on the left side. The problem with the left side as well, the food doesn't contain the nutrients it needs to break it down. So if you're eating a really high sugary diet, what tends to happen is your body's going to leach minerals and B vitamins. It's going to need these guys to help break down and absorb these foods. Okay? But on the right side, these guys come as little packages and they've got everything they need to help break them down. Okay? The food on the left is essentially dead. There's no enzymes in that, where the food on the right has enzymes contained within the food. If you're eating high GI foods, they're fast releasing sugars, they're refined sugars, And think of it as that they're found outside the cell. So the sugar is acellular. Take an orange and juice it. You're going to get orange juice. So within that process, what we've done is we've broken the cell, and we've taken the sugar out of the cell. Okay. Once we take the sugar out of the cell, we've taken the fiber and we've taken some of the vitamins, the minerals, the bioflavonoids. We've taken all that away, and we're just pretty much left with the sugary juice. Yes, we'll get some vitamin C, but essentially what you're just looking for the sugar to get that juice. So examples of high GI foods would be table sugar, white flour, white bread, white pasta, white rice, donuts, crackers, alcohol, milk maybe, milk chocolate, sweets and pastries. Okay, we are looking for food in its whole form, not in its processed form. And that's going to be your slow release, low GI, unprocessed sugars. So this is your cellular sugar. So yes, you still have the sugar, but it's within the cell, and the body needs to break all that down. So examples will include brown rice, oats, sweet potatoes.